Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. We'll get started in a few minutes here. I'm going to finish off a couple things here, but we'll get started in a couple minutes. If you guys have any questions, prep them here now so we can address them. But we're definitely going to spend some time today on silver and some of the big moves that happened yesterday. So we will be looking at those here shortly before we get started. I'll leave you guys with this chart here. Or let's just go with this so we can kind of see what's going on here. There we go. All right. Okay, we'll get started in a couple minutes. I'll be back. All right, let's get started. All right, good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. It's, what is it, the 21st of May. Today, we've got a few things in the notepad here this morning. If you're brand new here, I'm Serge Berger from thesteadytrader.com. This is our morning call. And we're going to spend the next 10 to 15 minutes going through some of the top things on my notepad. And if you guys have any questions along the way, please let me know. Very important, if you could please subscribe to the channel. It's totally free. It helps us out so we can continue to do the show. And please give us a thumbs up, like, and spread the word. That would be fantastic. Since we're not asking for anything else here for the morning call, that would be awesome. All right. Let's talk about really what caught my attention yesterday, and what where I really think attention should be focused here, and that's really in some of the moves that we saw out of precious metals yesterday. So I want to go through that, and then of course any questions you guys have on single name stocks as well. Happy to go through a couple of those, and then tomorrow, of course, we're doing Ticker Thursdays, so we'll be doing that tomorrow. But let's start off with what really caught my attention yesterday, and that's the move in silver. We've been talking a lot about silver. We've been talking a lot about gold. I actually do a daily YouTube short video, which I'll quickly show you guys. If you want to be updated as to what my daily moves are in gold, hedged, unhedged, and now in silver, what you can do is you can go over to where you are on the YouTube channel and then click on where it says shorts right there. And that is where I update you guys throughout the week what moves I'm making in gold and silver, and I'm always going to focus on one trade. So right now, that's the focus. I'll be moving on to other trades down the road, of course. So that's that. But what caught my attention yesterday is sort of the entire move that was happening in sync in the precious metals. So interesting to me was that silver, the SLV ETF, was up about 2.4%, and along with that we had platinum, which actually is up even further this morning. Let me quickly show you this. So platinum this morning is now up another couple percent. It was up yesterday about almost 5%. So these are all precious metals, right? And there's ETFs for all of those, right? So if you don't do futures, this is not about futures. The fact that this is moving, so an ETF would have done very well in that yesterday, and a lot of this stuff is now really going into bullish momentum. So if you are using the trend or momentum indicator, you're noticing there's a lot of momentum coming into this space. So if you like to draw lines and then you like to do technical analysis, platinum is making a move here. And this breakout here, if it sticks and sticks a landing, it actually goes back to a consolidation that platinum has been in now for a long time. In fact, you can, if you really want to, you could stretch it all the way back to the year 2008. You have to be a bit more creative in drawing the lines here, maybe use monthly closings, but this is a big move, and if this move sticks, platinum could go, I don't even know where it could go. Maybe 1,1300 at first, and then who knows where. That's platinum. But let's talk about silver a little bit more, because silver is really the one that I've been talking about here a lot. This is kind of what the long-term chart looks like. And what's fascinating about the silver move is if we take the gold to silver ratio, then we get this chart. Now, this chart goes all the way back to the 1930s. And what you can see here is that every time that gold got this expensive versus silver, which has only happened a few times now since the 1930s, typically silver started to outperform. So that's, to me, really interesting. And so if I then look at the absolute chart of silver itself, then I get to this chart here. I'm going to make this a long-term monthly chart. So you can see that if we're able to start to and it hasn't happened yet, right? But if we were to start to get to this point where it starts breaking up, but we're building a giant base. You could even call this an absolute massive, cup and handle pattern. But we obviously haven't broken out yet, but if it does happen, silver can go a crazy ton higher, at some point. So what we're doing right now, and it's a bit silly, but this is literally a chart pattern that goes back to 1980, right? So that's a 45-year chart pattern, which, whenever this breaks out, this is going to be epic. But, so it can take another couple of years to start to break out, right? But I think right now, given this pattern, I would say that in terms of the per ounce price, I wouldn't be surprised if silver goes, the actual spot price goes into the low 40s. So in terms of SLV, what that means is you'd probably see the price go, into the high 30s. So if you're looking at SLV, and I make this a weekly chart, that's a big move. Now, again, we need to take this one step at a time. And I think what we need to do here is kind of just measure and map its relative strength, silver. Like even today, it's acting a little bit better intraday. And again, silver is volatile as hell, so take this with a grain of salt. But I need to see silver clear about 31 and then maybe 32 in order to incrementally add. And this is one of those trades, and again, I'll keep you guys updated here in Set the Market and in the YouTube Shorts. But I want to see, I'm actually going to add on strength in silver, which is different from other trades where I would be basically adding a larger position in the beginning. But here we're looking at something that's so choppy, and it's been in such a choppy trading range that I need to see confirmation that it's actually moving. We already have our momentum indicators, the trender are giving us, buy signals on the on the daily chart. It's a brand new one. It's been choppy as hell, but we finally yesterday got a new one. But I need to see silver break above, ideally above 31, maybe even 30.50 would do. But we're in a chop zone right now, so I'm not really gonna build on this position until we get above 30.50 or 31 on SLV. But my point is, I'm going to be adding to this position as it moves higher, as opposed to adding a big position up front and then kind of reducing as it goes on, which is a different, because these things, when they start trending, they trend like crazy. And you can see some of the breakup moves. When we had a breakup move, for example, last year, silver rallied 30%, right? So these things can be very strong, and so that's what's going on there. So I thought I would point that out. In terms of equities, here's a quick update. We're now at a critical juncture as far as equities are concerned. I'm going to just use the SPY ETF, and we're basically, for all intents and purposes, we're back at all-time highs, which I didn't think would happen. I don't think anyone thought it would happen this quickly. I still think there's overhead resistance, trapped buyers. I think a lot of retail investors have been driving this higher in hopes and dreams, right? But it is what it is, and we have to respect that. So let me quickly draw this in for you. But basically, we're right now squarely in this what we called the overhead resistance or trapped buyers zone, which looks like this. And I'm going to say this. I think that if we don't see the market pulling back here and consolidating, 5-10%, so the S&P going down at least, back down to where it was, in early this month, maybe twice that. If that doesn't happen soon, and I mean over the next couple of weeks, then I think there's the possibility that we're going to see a slow drip higher in the S&P until it squeezes out marginally higher highs. And then ultimately it'll fail badly, and it's going to wipe out all the retail traders. But I just want to be, again, we talk about this being the year of the trader, and that's why we need to use momentum, right? Momentum is such a powerful force. So that's, to me, how I'm kind of planning this right now. So this was an epic rally. I don't know a single professional investor that really got very long. A lot of them closed out their shorts, as did we. Then did some bull put spreads because we got oversold. Had a few longs, but no one I know really got long the market, right? But I think now we're at a point where the equity market could fall into the summer lull, all else being equal, unless we start getting volatility of the next couple of weeks. So that's just a quick update from my part. Thank you guys all for the nice comments. I appreciate it. Win and Jim, I don't know what that other company is you're mentioning there, but thanks for being here. There's a gentleman before that wanted to look at VSTs. That seems to be again, that Vistra stock seems to be making the message boards once again. What I'm going to say on this one here, Tony, and I don't know to what extent you can appreciate this, but this stock, VST, is essentially the S&P 500. Okay, so I'm just overlaying now, and Tony would love to have some feedback if you can see this making sense. All I did now is I took VST, which is your Vistra stock that you mentioned, which is the candlestick line, and I just overlaid the S&P 500 chart to it. You tell me, but to me, this is the same chart. So if you're going to be bullish on the S&P 500, you might as well be bullish on Vistra, right? I don't think there's a difference. This is a lot of the problems I'm seeing right now in the market, that people are finding all these narratives and thinking they're going to make a fortune with it, but really it's a correlation of 1-to-1 to the S&P 500, right? So again, hopefully this is helpful. Hopefully, that helps you kind of get make some sense out of all this. Lastly, just quickly, I want to point this out because we had some charts on this already this morning in our members area, trade ops. Just want to quickly point this out on Bitcoin. So the IBIT ETF, which is this chart here with the green background color, remains bullish trend. So that's the green background color. And quite frankly, I think there's a good likelihood of Bitcoin breaking out to fresh all-time highs, or the IBIT ETF. So if you look at this just from a simple charting perspective, then, and this all comes from liquidity in the market, right? So this is what I keep talking about. So now that we have a more deficit spending out of the US government, and we have China stimulating, and we have Europe paying up a lot of money, right? So like the defense spending, for example, we have a lot more stimulus. And so I think, to me, at this point, triple tops don't really exist. So I'm going to say the path of least resistance for Bitcoin, for IBIT, is probably to the upside. How high does it go? I don't know, but that's where we have our momentum indicators. That's where we use the market rover to tell us that as long as it's in the green background color, it's in a bullish trend. So that's how we're gonna play this. So anyway, we'll leave it at this. Quick and dirty here, 15 minutes this morning. We'll see you guys over in Trade Ops. If you are using the Vertical X Pro indicator, that's our extreme oversold overbought indicator, we are going to meet you in about 45 minutes. And we're going to look at United Health, which still has a valid extreme oversold reading. So we're going to set up an options trade there together in our member session in about 45 minutes. See you guys there, and I'll see you in the members area as well. Be well, and also we'll see you back here tomorrow morning. Please give us a thumbs up, please subscribe to the channel, very important. See you back here tomorrow. Take care.